Yo, yo, yo. It's Miss Gray here. You know, there's a new witch on the block, and I have a feeling she's about to take over. So today, we're talking about ancestors because I have this theory. The message in this video all started because I have this theory that the film Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway, directed by my man Christopher Nolan. Call me, I'm available to act, you know. So I have this theory that film is about ancestors and ancestor work. Now, with this video, I hope the takeaway is that you recognize your own power. You recognize the power of your energy and how long-standing your energy actually is. I hope that this video somewhat helps you to recognize your power as a creator. So have you ever heard the saying that as we heal ourselves, we heal our ancestors? So this is how I feel it applies. Concept of time. Here we go again, talking about time, which I'm very connected to, I feel. And now remember, I'm just a woman, I'm just a witch on the internet, so this is my point of view. Take it as you will. And I have to say this as well, or I want to say this, is that I feel right now at the planet, there's this new wave of people that are, I think, in their adult age already, and there's this increased wave of people who are meant to break generational curses, trauma, thought patterns, because the planet is collectively healing. The collective consciousness of the planet is healing, which would mean that there is generational healing happening. And in order for this to happen, there is people who are being anointed or really prompt to heal these thought patterns in their family lineage. Now, so time, like I said, as we heal ourselves, we heal our ancestors. I feel, and this will tie into this whole thing, but I feel that time has been used as a commodity. They are selling time. This is why there is this subconscious protocols, little messages put in place that makes us almost fear time, that make us perceive time as something like what's behind us is behind us, and things are either moving forward or backwards, you know. But let's think about, let's say, the beauty industry. The beauty industry uses time as a commodity to sell products that make you either look younger, make you disguise certain aspects of you that perhaps have appeared through time, or even in some cases make you look more mature. Because I remember when I was, back in the day, I remember I really wanted to look, older, like more womanly, if you will, a mature woman, and so on. Or even the concept of time, you can see that in lines. And yes, I mean like people lining up to things, because now if you put a little more money, you can get in front of the line. Perhaps you get a fast pass at Disneyland, or just in general you have VIP access, which means you don't have to wait in line at the club or in the country club or something. You get your shipment faster if you pay extra money, so you don't have to wait as long. Even in pharma, you get faster service if you have the money to pay, let's say, for a private doctor, versus you having to use, or you have the access to only to a public healthcare system, which often means that you have to wait longer. So all these things, and not even mentioning the way we work. We have this Monday to Friday, and then we emphasize, the weekends as almost like this reward, like, look, like we are taking care of you. We are giving you these 2 days where you can actually like think about yourself. But remember, Monday to Friday, you have to, serve, be in the constraints of time. And now again, perhaps if you get more money, you get a higher status or whatever, you can be more in control of your time, so you can decide the working hours you work. So perhaps you don't have to work as much, or you don't have to work at the Monday to Friday, or you can work at, you get the gist. So money, so time is as much as it's almost the same as money. Like, they're using time as a commodity. And some people say the time is more valuable even than money. And from a spiritual point of view, I feel also that the detachment to time, or making us perceive time this way, is also separating us from our ancestors, which then separates us from each other in a way. Because when we are connected to our ancestry, we are also more connected to the collective consciousness, and we are more connected to the idea that everything is one, and this idea that things are connected, life is interconnected, and we don't see life as these like sections in a way. So now, if you believe the other idea, that time actually is just a concept, then I will present to you this little thought, that is that you right now, you are a living ancestor. Right, you're an icon living. I'm just an icon living. I'm just an icon living. So you really are an icon living. You really are an ancestor living, as much as are the ancestors still living who came before you. And so are the ancestors living who will become after you. So your children's children's children's, Because here's the thing. The reason why you, or many of the reasons perhaps, like I said, just a witch on the internet giving her opinion, but the reason why you perhaps cannot perceive your ancestors as in this form as you are living your life, because your ancestors are in a different energy field. The energy looks different from where they are, or from where you are to where they are. So they have to communicate with you in different ways, as do you have to communicate differently than like this, like straight up verbally, like this, like I'm communicating to you, or as I would communicate to somebody who's sitting in front of me, because the energy form is different. So the communication differs as well. Now, energy is movement. Energy never stops. It never stops. Let me say that again. Energy never stops. So the intention, the energy that you put into motion right now, it will always continue living. It will always continue to surge, to take a form of some sort. It will always continue to live. And you yourself are energy. And so does the energy that your ancestors who came before you, that energy that they've put in motion still lives, as much as the energy that the ancestors who will become after you, so your children's, that energy will never be destroyed. That will always be moving. So now all of these energies will never die. All of these energies will just constantly be alive and search for a form. So now let's think about an idea where you get an idea to perform some sort of self-love ritual, or a ritual where you want to heal wealth mindset, or you have some sort of financial constraints that you want to heal. Perhaps that's something that's been throughout your whole lineage. You have codependency issues, addictions, you name it. Or you really, there's this, you want to be an artist, but you somehow lack perhaps the courage to do it, Now think about when that idea of you wanting to heal something comes to your head. Do you think that idea just comes from nowhere? From my point of view, a witch on the internet, I feel that that idea is the result of the energy put in motion, trying to become alive, to take that shape. That energy might be an energy that your ancestors, someone in your family lineage, started that thing, healing, let's say, the financial aspect in your family lineage. That energy has already been put into motion, and now it's reached you, and now you're continuing that same thread. Now it's reached you. Now the energy has come to you. Like it's your turn to mold that energy, to shape that energy, to take that intention and do what you will with it. And now the energy that you put in motion, the healing that you will put in motion, considering the financial aspect of yourself, of your family lineage, or this can apply to anything, self-love, like I said, addictions, you wanting to be an artist, I'm just using this financial thing as an example. Now you're putting that into motion, and that energy will always live. It will always live. And now that energy will reach your children's, and so on. And also because these things, I think, inherit through your DNA. It's memory almost. Intention is, in a way, it's like you're training your brain, you're training your DNA, you're training your cells to take this different thought form, and that will be inherited through your family lineage. And you have the power to change that. This is how powerful energy actually is. This is the power of intention. So your ancestors, they are very much alive. They are living currently. So as you heal yourself, that energy will affect the ancestors who are currently living, but your perception is that they are somebody who came before you, but they are actually currently living simultaneously than you, as are the future ancestors that will become. You know, there's this scene in Interstellar, and I hope you've seen the film, but I'm honestly encouraging you to see that film because we are currently entering October, so Samhain is at the doorstep, so the veil is thin, the ancestors are like really speaking to us right now, and like I said, I really feel that the movie Interstellar is about ancestor work or just ancestors, and the power of how far energy really travels. Now, so there's this scene in Interstellar where in the beginning, Murphy, this kid in the film, is communicating with something that seems to be a ghost, some paranormal activity in her bedroom. And she is talking about it to her father, who's played by Matthew McConaughey. And so Matthew at this time is a little bit jaded, like life is really hard, the planet is dying, he's a farmer, and the crop isn't growing. So he just he's lost faith in a way. Or like that fighting spirit. Do not go gentle into that good night. So Murphy is trying to tell to his father, to Matthew. I can't remember what Matthew's name was in that film, but he's saying like there's someone in my room and I think they are trying to communicate. Like Murphy feels internally she's connected to whatever entity is trying to get Murphy's attention. Now, the movie progresses and Matthew takes on this space travel journey, and she leaves Murphy behind. Now, fast forward in the film, so this is where it gets, I hope you've seen it because perhaps it's going to be a little tough to comprehend if you haven't. But as it turns out, the whole time, the entity that Murphy was communicating with was actually Matthew. And Matthew, so Murphy's father. And actually Matthew had moved into a different time zone, into a different energy field. And he was communicating from that time zone, from that energy field to beyond, through different dimensions to Murphy. And obviously he couldn't speak to Murphy like this, like orally. So he had to communicate in ways that energy field allowed him to communicate. So Matthew goes into this whole journey while he is traveling through space. Like he emotionally goes through different things, and Matthew essentially is the same age, but the whole time Matthew is in space, Murphy, her daughter, grows older. And at the same time, or I think it's Matthew who realizes when he finds himself in this sort of limbo stage. He's in between worlds in a way. He's in between the world that he is and in between the world that Murphy is living in, this, like in our reality. And that scene is so powerful, where Matthew says to himself in that limbo stage, he's looking through the veil directly to Murphy. He's able to see Murphy, because in a way Matthew is in a more elevated energy field. He's more conscious, but Murphy cannot fully see Matthew because this dimension where Murphy is living, in our dimension, it's much more dense. So it's harder for her to perceive Matthew as Matthew is perceiving Murphy. So Matthew sees what Murphy is doing, and he realizes that he actually was the one who was communicating with Murphy when Murphy was a little girl. And now Matthew is sending these messages, that message that Murphy was seeing all along when she was younger. Matthew is now currently sending to Murphy. And then Murphy simultaneously realizes that the ghost she was talking to when she was little was indeed her father currently. So do you see what I mean? Like, the time is just an illusion. Your ancestors are like Matthew McConaughey in that stage, currently communicating with you. And you're doing the same to somebody else as well. You are, as we speak, you're somebody's ancestors sending messages to them as well. And how I took the film as well was like, with this understanding, while the past is also the past, is understanding to the future or to the current situation. So Matthew realizes the importance of perhaps the now, or perhaps the gifts that Murphy has, and Murphy connects with the past. So what I'm saying is, when the past and future collide and communicate with together, so basically the ancestor and the current being are communicating with themselves. That's how we heal the planet, because ultimately now Matthew is sending these messages to Murphy so that Murphy can have this solution to heal the planet. And Murphy is able to decode the message that Matthew is sending to Murphy. And ultimately, not only are they able to save the planet, but Matthew is able to return home. So in a way, as you return to yourself, as you return home to yourself, your ancestors are also able to return home. And your ancestors are also able to heal. And in a broader perspective, I feel also that, we're healing the planet. The more we connect and almost like healing the past, we heal the future. Healing the current, we heal the future and the past. It's all connected. And in the final moments of the film, it's interesting juxtaposition where now Matthew has indeed returned home from space, and Murphy is now an older woman, and Matthew is basically the same age as he was when he left. So it's like that shift. Now Murphy is almost like the ancestor, and Matthew is the one who learns. So everything they went through individually in their journey, the decisions that they made, they impacted each other's lives, and nothing eventually was in vain. So from this point of view, I think it's incredibly important to us to understand how important it is to listen to your ancestors. I'm telling you, they are speaking to you all the time. And not to go all Pocahontas, with you, but in my experiences, I feel this is probably different to everybody, as it often is in life, that things appear differently to different people. But I've noticed that ancestors are really connected to the elements, so they communicate a lot, like through wind, like through leaves blowing in the wind, through perhaps like flames if you have candles, even like animals, water, like weird noises also in your house, just like in that film Interstellar. If you hear like weird knocks, like let's say you have some sort of thought and you simultaneously hear like a weird knock or some sort of like something going in the pipes or something, take notice with that. Like I said, your ancestors are constantly communicating with you. Or it can also be you communicating to yourself. Because your future self exists as well, simultaneously as do you. So I would say, really honor yourself, respect yourself, and recognize that there is long-term, it's not selfish at all. I guarantee you, it's your duty almost as an awakened a person. I know that word is a little like awakening, but as an enlightened, as a person who's aware, I honestly feel it's your responsibility, your duty. Now, everyone can do what the heck they want, but I hope there is this sense of responsibility that kind of lights up in your heart to, I want to say, be more respectful toward yourself. Heal yourself, honestly, heal yourself. Now, take whatever time you need, because it ultimately doesn't matter. Even that one seed of energy towards healing, even the thought you have that you want to heal is already, like I said, once you put that energy out there, it will always be there. That energy, that one idea, that one word you say to yourself, I love myself, I see myself, I honor myself. That energy will always be there. It will always try to reach you and make you see and understand and cultivate that love and respect. And the more you respect yourself, the more your eyes are opening to your ancestors, and the more you will be able to connect to the world around you and realize how interconnected we actually all are, I believe. So that's all. Live long and prosper. And I believe I'll be back. Bye.